All right. Go ahead, Christy. Let's kick this thing off.
All righty. Welcome. And you are recording, right?
I am recording.
All right. Awesome. Well, we're going to have an amazing 90 minutes together. And I'm really excited that you guys are here joining us. And now a lot of you from Colorado, we know where we're zooming in from, and there might be some more ladies joining us later. So we can get the most out of our time together, I'm going to ask you to go all in with us. Answer the questions posed to engage and engage with each other and make the decision right now to be completely present. I know it's easy to get distracted, especially when we're zooming in, but try to just be here in the moment. Put your phones on silence and other alerts on silent. We would all live to see your face on the screen when we hit gallery mode, and it has been proven that you will retain more information. We are your tribe, and this is a safe space, leaving out all judgment and criticism at the virtual door. We'd like our chat to be on fire, so please be sure to engage with us. We are your people. And if you haven't got the doc for the work ahead of time, I'm going to drop that in the chat here just a second to make sure you have that up. And yeah, Brenda, you were going to do a quick introduction.
Yeah. Hi, ladies. I am so glad you're here. Good for you. You're taking a little me time. And, you know, me time is something that we moms and midlife mamas don't have a lot of and haven't really given to ourselves much lately. So I really am proud of you for being here. So do me a favor, pop yes in the chat. Give me a little wave if, you know, now that you're at a phase in your life where your kids are kind of not needing you as much and you're kind of going through this little bit of panic about what's next for me and who am I without my role as mom. Anyone else there like me out there that went through that? Yeah, I totally felt that. Tell me, you know, if over the years, you know, since BK, before kids, over the years, you have kind of slowly let go of some of the things that you used to like to do, some of your own interests, some of your own, you know, activities, some of your own even friendships have kind of gone to the wayside to support that family. Anybody else out there besides me? I'm feeling that. Well, I'm just glad you're here because it's time for us midlife moms to kind of refocus and take the reins of our own life again and our own identity. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So you are in the right place. We really can do this, and really together is better. So over the next hour or so, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 keys to reconnect, reclaim, and relaunch your own life in a big and powerful way. So first, we're going to get back on track and start to identify what lights you up beyond your family, of course, right? Next, we're going to explore some of the ways to cultivate some of the interests and activities that you may have let go of over the years. And lastly, we're going to discuss how and where you fit in, you know, by creating a sense of belonging with other women. You know, it's really possible for us right now to create more deep and meaningful relationships and connections in our life. And it's probably easier than you might even expect. And it actually can even make you live longer. So that's all good stuff. But before I wrap up today, I am going to share with you my very favorite way for striking up a conversations with someone new, a potential friend, that's going to make new friend finding fun and easy. Sound good? All right, so I just want to introduce my wonderful wingwoman, Christy. She's going to be helping behind the scenes. Make sure if you pop a question in the chat and it gets by me, she's going to make sure I know about it. Throw some links in. So, Christy, would you take it just a minute and introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm glad to be here. And speaking of friendships, I know it is very difficult in this empty nest phase. And I met Brenda. I'm a fellow author. I actually wrote a book called Empty Besting. And when I was facing the empty nest, I wanted to find a how-to guide, how to empty nest and make it happy. And so I couldn't find one and wrote my own. And I have 6 daughters, and for our quadruplets, they're going to be 21 tomorrow. So I love supporting and encouraging women, and meeting Brenda. I'm just so happy because her topic of friendships to me is a very challenging one, and one I didn't think I would have. So I'm an author and have a podcast called Momentum. So I love that you women are here and taking time for yourself. I want to talk a little bit about Brenda, if you don't know her. So she is the author of Lady in the Tribe, How to Create Empowering Friendship Circles. She is a speaker, a girlfriend guru who loves helping women connect, find success, and discover joy through friendship. Her mission is to support women who have lost themselves in their roles as a wife, mother, and professional. Through her coaching, workshops, blogs, book clubs, and podcast, Find Your Lady Tribe, Brenda helps women connect and communicate with respect, love, and trust. She holds an MA in Human Resources and has spent decades cultivating her own tribe. Brenda, I'm so excited we're here today. Take it away.
All right. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate it. So again, welcome, ladies. I am on a personal mission to help women discover and embody their passions and purpose through connection and create a life that they can really get excited about again. In my book, Lady in the Tribe, it's based on my own experience of losing myself over the years in my roles and how I came back from that to kind of live a big life. Nowadays, I have ditched the old empty nester title. I don't like that. I am now an emerging eagle, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. I'm just thrilled at this point in life. I'm able to speak to women like you, travel around based on my book of Lady of the Tribe. It's just been a dream come true of a life right now. And just this year, I was honored to represent my community as Mrs. Carbon Valley in the Mrs. Colorado America pageant. Scary, but exciting. And I'll tell you a little more about that later too. But, it wasn't always this great. It wasn't always this exciting, Just even a few short years ago, I couldn't even fathom that any of this would be happening to me. There was just no light at the end of my tunnel. In fact, I woke up one morning and found a definitive darkness at the end of the tunnel. Nothing to look forward to, and even though I was super busy with commitments and other people's priorities and, schedules up the wazoo, I just didn't want to do any of it. I didn't feel connected to a purpose, and I was just going through the motions. And mine could have been the meme of the mom who just let herself go with the weight gain, wearing yoga pants every day, makeup free look. I looked like I gave up, but it was sad. Raise your hand, give me a yes in the chat if you've ever felt that way. Just kind of like, where did I go, right? And I wouldn't say I wasn't happy per se, after all, I have a loving husband and 2 happy, healthy kids and beautiful home, 2 snuggle pups. Everything from the outside looked picture perfect, right? But what was wrong with me? I just couldn't understand this gnawing sense of dissatisfaction in my gut. And I couldn't find the meaning in my tasks, my daily tasks anymore. So, one day I was driving my kids home from school, and, I was just kind of going through my head, what do I got to do next? Okay, get them home, get the homework done, feed them a snack, get them off to sports, go back and get them again, come home, finish up homework, get them in a bath, get them to bed, and just so I could do it all over again tomorrow. I mean, that's just that was my life. And as per usual, the 2 of them started bickering in the back of the car. And this time I just lost it. I pulled over the car and I slammed on the brakes and I just started screaming at them. I said, "You ruined my life." I really said that, and I dropped an F-bomb and I just let them have it. And I started crying, and it was ridiculous. It was the worst thing that had ever come out of my mouth. And I was so embarrassed and I cried. And luckily the kids just kind of were in shock for a second, and then they laughed at me. And then they told on me later. But that was when I realized something had to change. I was not myself. I was not feeling at all well. And all of my inner garbage had just dumped out all over the two people that I love the most, the people that I was literally living for. And, unfortunately my little funk didn't end there. Over the next few years, my kids evolved through high school, and I started to get that panicky feeling of like, what's happening? They're almost gone now. What am I going to do? Who am I without my role as mom? All right. So who was I without my role as mom? It was just, I didn't feel connected to anything anymore. And when with them about to leave, I was kind of grasping on to every moment possible. I was creating things to make memories so this, hopefully they don't go away too far. I mean, I just was really panicking. So, I was also, professional. I had several businesses that I had throughout the years. And I was at a networking event, right at the end of my kids' high school career. And I was visiting with my friend Jane. And Jane and I were friends, but we'd never gone very deep. It all been pretty superficial, like, hey, how's business? The weather's nice. What do you got going on this weekend? But nothing ever deep at all. But I really, really did like Jane. And today I just asked her flat out. I said, Jane, are you really okay? And she looked at me funny. You see, she was an empty nester like I was about to be. And she looked like she had it all together. She looked like she was happy, but I couldn't tell if she was just faking it and going through the motions like I was. She looked at me and she said, what? Yes, I am more than okay. I am free. And she just started talking about all the great things she was doing. She was traveling and she still got to spend time with her kids and now grandkids. And she was living the life of her dreams. And I just was like, I mean, it seems like such a little bitty thing, really. For me, it was paradigm shifting. It was like, gave me some hope. And as she was rattling off all the things she got to do, I was thinking, I haven't got to do that for a long time. I haven't got to do that for a long time. And it kind of gave me some excitement to think, wow, I got to start making a get to list instead of a last list. I was going through all my lasts and just being really depressed about it all. But I started making a get to list of the things that I would get to do once the kids went to college. So, I didn't realize it back when I was moping around every day for literally a couple of years. But over the last decades, I had not been taking care of my own mind, body, and spirit. I had let go of everything that brought meaning to my life besides my family, all of my own interests, activities, and friendships. And it turns out what was missing for me was having a few best friends, I would say, really that knew me, knew my life, knew not just all the good stuff that I was putting out on social media, but knew even the muck that was going on in my life, even knew some of the things I was struggling with. And so I was missing these deep connections that just dove beyond the superficial niceties that we all kind of, I believe, have become over the last 5 to 10 years because of all the virtual options for everything, right? So I could finally name that strange nebulous feeling in my gut. And it might surprise you. It's called loneliness. Loneliness does not necessitate that one be socially isolated. Loneliness just means that you have a desire for connection. And even though I was surrounded by people almost 24/7, I was not putting myself out there to really be seen, heard, and known in a meaningful way. So I've come to realize that lack of those close personal friendships, women who know us and get us on a deeper level may be what is missing in our otherwise picture perfect lives. Women who just want to be around us. They don't need anything from us. Like everyone else in our life, our friendships don't need anything from us. Give me an amen to that. If you have a lot of people who need something from you, they love you. They love you so much, but everybody needs something from you, right? So that's what we're here to talk about today. And it really doesn't matter where you are if it's empty, if you're approaching an empty nest, or you're going through some transition of life, or maybe you're kind of starting to worry about your parents and needing to transition them to help them more. There's different times in our life and that we just, as women, give until we are empty. And that's what we're here to talk about today, is kind of filling our own tank. So I'd like to just go ahead and dive into the first key. If you have any questions ever, just jot them in the chat or raise that hand. If you know how to raise your virtual hand, I want to make sure I get to them. So yeah, I mean, how many of you have hundreds, if not thousands, of Facebook friends out there or whatever? But how many friends could you call in the middle of the night for help? And they would be there for you. That's kind of the difference we're talking about here. So key number one in your workbook here is determine your why. You know, there are lots of things out there that are vying for your time and attention. You know, have you even recently thought about what it is that you are passionate about? What is it that kind of gives you a burning desire in your belly to make something happen, to create something, to help or make a difference somewhere? Have you even thought about it beyond your family, which is very, very important? And I don't ever want to sound like I'm downplaying that. It's the most important thing I ever did. And it's the most important, most fulfilling thing I've probably ever done. But there has to be something else, you know? Well, I did this exercise with a group of women in Breckenridge this weekend, and some of them were like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's what we're going to do today. So it's okay. By the end of this, you're going to have an answer to that. All right. So I have an excellent exercise. And here's the thing. A lot of us have our whys about, you know, my family's my why, my kids are my why. And I absolutely was guilty of that. In fact, when I had my son 22 years ago, I literally walked out of that hospital a different person. And I told people that my purpose in life was to raise this kid and to make, because he was so special. We had a traumatic childbirth and all that, which I won't go into, but I think every woman walks out of that hospital a different person. And I told people my purpose, if I do nothing else, that's fine, because this is what it is now. And ladies, it's very noble and important work. And it's very sweet, nice to have your why be your family, but there has to be something outside of our roles, the roles that we play, wife, mother, professional, that, you know, drives us, represents who we really are. You know, we need to identify what that is and figure out how to get more of it in our life. We need to, especially at this stage in our life, when our why is moving out, basically, we've been programmed to do everything for others, and we need a bulletproof why to get through the tough times. And we're always going to have some tough times. The why has to be about you. It has to be for you. You know, maybe you want to be part of something new and exciting. Maybe you want to stop missing out on things because of other people's priorities. Been there. You know, maybe you want to accomplish something big. If any of this resonates with you, pop a yes in the chat if any of these things sound good. So in your worksheet, how bad do you want this? You know, this is what separates the talkers from the doers. The how bad do you want it circles back to your why, and it needs to be big enough so that you're willing to give up a few things, you know, like binge watching Netflix, which I love to do sometimes. But give up a few things for a while so that you can really kind of start pursuing some new passion. And how bad you really want it comes down to pain and pleasure, right? You know, people really only change due to inspiration or desperation. As humans, we avoid like the plague anything that feels like pain, right? And we instantly take action towards things that we believe will feel good or that will give us pleasure. You know, so you might be thinking, gosh, great, how do I change that? Because our comfort zone is pretty comfortable, right? The comfort zone, we know it's maybe not good for us, but it's pretty comfortable. How do I change my brain to flip it around so that I actually take action and do something new and make a change? Well, there's a cool thing about our brains, and our brains are constantly changing based on the things that we think about and the patterns that we're thinking about. And we can actually retrain those patterns. So right now I'm going to walk you through an exercise that can train your brain that the pleasure you seek is doing the work to discover your passions and reach your why. And the pain that you're actually trying to avoid is not doing the work to rediscover your passions and reach your why. So this exercise is called Look Inward to Move Forward. All right. So in your workbooks, we're going to spend some time on a couple questions. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes for this. But the question that you're going to answer is, what is your why? And at first, it might be super simple and, just not a lot of depth to it. But what you're going to do is you're going to make maybe 1 to 3 sentences of what your why is, what you think kind of charges you up right now. And then you're going to follow up with some additional questions. You're going to ask yourself pretty much over and over again for 6 or 7 times, why do you say that? Why? And then you'll write it a little more. And you keep asking yourself why 6 or 7 times until you get to your real why. So I'm going to give you an example here really quick. And Christy, if you would, I'm going to pin you, and will you I'm going to tell you, I'm going to actually read from my journal back in 2018 when I was in the funk of a lifetime, when I just didn't know what was wrong with me, because everything was fine, but I was not happy. So I went through this exercise, and if you'll just start, Christy, by asking me, what is my why?
Yes. So Brenda, what is your why?
So I want to accomplish something big, unusual, challenging. I want to set my family free so that we can all make a difference in our own way while enjoying all life has to offer.
Why do you say that?
Well, I enjoy being of service, leading, guiding, and mentoring others.
And why do you say that?
Well, I enjoy opportunities to be in front of people and communicate messages of overcoming challenges, hope, peace, joy.
But why do you say, am I supposed to just keep saying why, right? Why do you say that?
Yes. I love my family, my friends, and I want to spend many days, hours, weeks, years with them, with quality time.
That's good.
And I
Why?
love being a magnet. So basically, after 6 or 7 of just going back and forth and continuing to ask those questions, I came up with my real why. And my real why is to follow my intuition with confidence, expanding in abundance, success, and love every day as I attract, support, and inspire other women to do the same. So this exercise really could probably take you 20-30 minutes. And I recommend use the worksheet. Right now, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. And here, let me go ahead and unpin you, Christy, or you can go ahead and unpin yourself. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to work on this. But what I want you to do is journal out the answers to these questions. And then we're going to work on them a little more. Even if you don't feel like you're quite there yet, at the end of this 5 minutes, that's okay, because we will get there. Okay, anything else? I'm going to go ahead and start our timer. Go ahead and take your 5 minutes and
Welcome back. Welcome back.
all right, are we all back? Oh, good, we're back. I couldn't see you. Welcome back. We're going to take this one step further, actually a couple steps further, and then I'm going to ask for some shares. So if you just want to get you're, just, you won't be surprised when I ask for shares when we do just a couple more steps. I will not record that piece at all. So, so we're completely, this is just us. But so the next step of this worksheet, first of all, did that help at all? Did you get some progress in the right direction? Maybe more than you thought before anyway? Okay, awesome. Awesome. So the next step of the process, this is the powerful part. And normally I would say, hey, you're going to need 15 minutes possibly for each question. But because our time is so limited, I'm going to give you a total of 10 minutes for 3 questions. All right. So the first question, we already did this one here. What is your why? The next question that you're going to ask yourself and journal the answer on is, why is this so important to you? What is it about this why that really, it excites you or has meaning for you? And just kind of journal, 2 or 3, 5 sentences on why it's so important to you. And then we're going to take it to the next level. The next question is, if you don't achieve your why, what is the pain that you will experience? This is where we start getting into that pain versus pleasure. And you're going to want to really flesh this part out. What will you and your family, be missing out on in life if you don't pursue and achieve your why? How will this affect your confidence and self-esteem? And then the third question, we want you to look forward into your life 5 years from today. And if you don't achieve your why, where will you be and what will you have given up? This can be super, super powerful. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you my answers as an example. Where's my book? Here it is. So why is this so important to you? I wrote, time is going by so fast. As I continue to grow and meet each new goal, I will acquire more resources to set my family free. Parker, my husband, and I will be able to take the time off we choose to chase our family around the world. We'll be able to treat others to incredible destinations and experiences. My kids can chase their dreams without any worry. I'll take pride in achieving this big, big goal. And I wrote down Eagle Mama. And I don't know why I did that, but at the time I was really drawn to eagles. So that's why it was so important to me. If I don't achieve my why, what's the pain that I will experience? I will be so disappointed in myself. Just another dream, goal, unfulfilled, to add to the list. I'll feel ordinary, not special. My family will continue the rat race treadmill of life. We may miss special time with our kids. We won't have the freedom to pick up and go whenever we want. I don't know when we'll be able to retire, and we would need to budget our resources. Our kids will not have the experience of watching their mother meet a big goal and be part of the celebration. They'll always love me, but have less to be proud of and no example of true greatness to aspire to. Now looking forward 5 years, I may be sitting right here still trying to figure things out. Instead of jet setting around the world, working with my friends and my team and chasing after our families and friends. We'll be working full time, fitting life in on the weekends. I'll be frustrated with my inertia towards my business. I'll feel disappointed and depressed. I'll feel stalled and at the newest chapter in my life. Shit, I'm 5 years from 60 and I still don't have it all together. I'll wonder what happened to my dream, my potential, a missed opportunity. So that was me back in 2018. And the next step is even more powerful. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes right now to journal, again, the answers to those questions. Does anyone have any questions before I start that timer? Okay. All right, well, here we go. Enjoy. All right, welcome back, ladies. Okay, I'm going to stop recording here real quick. I'm going to think that. Okay, it's working. Okay. So, can I get a raise of hands? Are you guys going to go ahead and follow through on that exercise? And what am I going to do about it today for 21 days? Oh my gosh, I want to hear back from you. It is life-changing. Life-changing. You know, some people find going through that exercise and rereading and then writing, journaling first thing in the morning is great. Before their feet even hit the floor. Others maybe want to do it at the end of the day during their quiet time, journaling. And it's okay if you want to do it at the end of the day, just make sure that next morning you reread your answer to what am I going to do about it today to kind of set that in place for you. All right. Nicole, do you have a question? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
No, I did not. I'm sorry. I accidentally hit it. I'm just getting used to Zoom. I'm used to working on Teams.
Okay, yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, so there's a little hand button if anyone has a question. That's the best way.
But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so what am I going to do about it today? It doesn't matter when you do it, but it's very, very important that you do it every day. All right, so the next step we're going to start talking about is key number 2. We're going to move past this and we're going to kind of hustle through because we're kind of running out of time. Okay, key number 2 in your worksheets is explore your interests. All right. So, you know, interests are things that you do because you like them and they interest you, right? These are some of the things that you might have let go of over time. BK, what are some of the things that you used to do before you had kids? We want to re-explore some of these interests and activities that you let go of over the years. You know, our interests capture our attention and arouse our curiosity and satisfy our need to accomplish things. So I'd like y'all to close your eyes for just a moment and think back to maybe when you were in high school or college, before you got married, before you had kids, before all this life happened to you, before you had this big career, whatever that looks like for you. What are some of the things that you used to like to do? You know, was it dance? Was it sports, debate, aerobic exercise? Was it chess or other games, art, theater? You know, revisiting some of these things might be a really great place to start. If you would, can I get anyone to raise their hand? I want to hear from a couple of you. What did you love to do, BK, that you kind of let go of over the years? Anyone?
To be honest, I probably do more.
You do?
I probably involve my kids in more of my activities, probably even more than they've ever wanted to me, like drag them to concerts and things like that. But like my kids were always like my wingman and my wing girl, like, I don't know. Whether it was good decisions as a young parent when I had my who's now 17, I was 24, probably wasn't the greatest things, but it made him very social. And I think I've learned to do more. My parents didn't do anything with me. And I think I reversed that conditioning and said, I'm going to fill your weekends with so many things that include me. But now that my son is a senior, I find that it's hard I'm finding more time to do the things I want, but it's not with him per se. So.
Yes. We're going through that change. And it kind of hurts a little sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, I'm right there with you. So yeah, exploring some of the, I think, Kate, you might be an exception. I talked to many women and a lot of women, it wasn't intentional. Nobody asked us to stop doing our own stuff, but we want to be the best mom and we want to be the best wife and all that. So we just kind of pour everything into that and just kind of, for example, I used to play softball, I used to scuba dive and I used to kind of go out with girlfriends regularly, and slowly, I started going to their t-ball games and being the soccer mom and all that. And it was all about their art classes and all that, so I slowly didn't have my own stuff anymore. And so a great place to start is just kind of think about those things that you don't do anymore. Another great thing is, what about things that you were, interested in or curious about, but you just never got around to doing, trying something new. I'll tell you that trying something new can be life-changing. I'll just share with you, back when I was invited to be in the Mrs. Colorado pageant, my first thing was, heck no, and I didn't say it that nicely. But finally, it was in 2020, and I was like, gosh, everybody could use a little bling, a little distraction. So I was like, kind of, okay, why not? I'm going to try it. And stepping out of my comfort zone in that way, in a big way, was kind of like, it just started opening up other opportunities. It started, I hired a coach because I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And it led me to write my book, and then which led me to all these other things. So exploring a new interest can be transformational, because things just start coming at you that you never even expected before. So can I get a raise of hands? Anyone willing at least to try something new? All right, so let me show you. In your workbooks, I did provide you with a big long list of activities. And so your homework is to go through that list and highlight a few things that kind of interest you now, or you might like to check out, and then just pick 2 or 3 of them, and make a commitment to yourself that you will take some action and take steps in that direction. All right, so from this point, this is homework. We're going to move on, and we are going to move on to the third key, which is my favorite, and it is find your lady tribe. The third key to reconnecting to your passions, purpose, and people is to find your lady tribe. All right. I'm just so excited about this topic because I'm so passionate about it. It was so essential and life-changing to me, reconnecting with real, deep, meaningful friendship. We are truly built to belong. And we have been trained out of that for the past 5 or 10 years with all the craziness, virtual this, virtual that, nobody's meeting up, social distancing, and even our closest of close friends have become more superficial than ever before. We're only out there on social media and keeping up with each other, and we haven't, and many women have kind of neglected some of those friendships that they have. And this neglect has not gone without repercussions. It has us, again, surrounded only by people who love us very much, but need something from us, right? And our girlfriends, they don't need anything from us. We have very few people in our lives who love us just because, our girlfriends choose us not because of what we can do for them, but because of who we are. And they understand our busy lives, because they have them too. And our friendships can be easily neglected because they require nothing from us. And really, the only ties that bind of true friendship are those that we choose to tie. And we make that decision every day by staying connected. So who is ready to give deep friendship kind of a seat at the table again? What might be stopping us though? What might be stopping us from making those connections and making them a reality? There's a few friendship myths out there, and we're going to bust just one of them today because that's all we have time for. But that is the myth that friendships should happen organically. And this is in your workbook, so you can jot that down. Friendships should happen organically. Nope. There's nothing wrong with you if that's not happening. They don't just happen organically. Friendship, there's a difference between a friend and friendship. Friend is if you look in the dictionary, it's a person, place, or thing, right? But a friendship is a verb, and it requires action. And it has 3 main ingredients that takes it beyond a friend to a friendship. And the first one is time. Well, we haven't had a lot of that in the past decades or so, have we? But time, some time one-on-one with each other. The second ingredient is attention. And that means, getting together eyeball to eyeball, knee to knee, and giving our full attention, putting those devices on mute, put them aside, and be completely connected, because our time is so limited. When we actually do get to see each other, we need to be present. And the third ingredient is enthusiasm. You know, when your kids come home from, or you come home from work or whatever, and your kids see you and they're like, when they were littler, oh, mommy, get home, so excited to see you. Or the dog's always super excited when you come home, right? Well, it's that enthusiasm that is so important to us. And we can provide that and get that from our friendships. So providing that, you know, so excited to be with you right now, kind of enthusiasm, right? And then the next level beyond friendship is tribe. And that, and I want to just start by saying a tribe is not a clique. A tribe is not a bunch of women who run around and do happy hour together and go shopping, all right? And a tribe is you as the leader of your own tribe and the 2 to 5 friendships that are the most deep and meaningful to you. They may or may not interact or know each other. In my case, they do, because I'm the organizer and I kind of organize things and I make them get in the same room together. But it's the 2 to 5 people in your life that are important, that you can call in the middle of the night, that know your deeper stuff, the ones that you can seek counsel on and share your fears and all that with. So tribe is the equation for tribe is friendship, and again, that's with time, attention, and enthusiasm. And then you add in space, which means proximity. You actually get in the same room together on a regular basis, plus vulnerability. The V word that can be so scary. All right. So as I was doing the research for my book, Lady in the Tribe, I researched all kinds of reasons why friendship has become difficult for adults, adult women. I think probably adult men have the same issue, but I found that there's different, ways that we may be showing up in situations that can either help or hinder our friendship building skills. And I created what I call the friendship authenticity spectrum. And I'm going to go through each of these levels in my spectrum, and I'm going to describe each level as if it's a person, but it's really not a person. It's you could be anywhere on this spectrum, and in any situation, you could be all of them. So the first one is called the diffident. The diffident is socially unsure, shy, wants to connect, doesn't really know how to do it, kind of feels outside of the group. You may feel like a diffident if you go to a new situation or a new meeting place, and especially if it seems like they all know each other already and you're brand new. Has anyone ever felt like a diffident? Yeah, I definitely do. Absolutely. I'm actually an introvert at heart, so I feel like a diffident off the bat all the time. The second level is called jaded. The jaded individual is, you ever shared a confidence with someone, a friend, and they betrayed you? You feel like they betrayed you. They kind of spilled the beans on something you told them in secret, or they weren't loyal to you. Well, the jaded person has been there, done that, got hurt, not going back. I run into women all the time. I don't have very many women friends because I don't trust women. I've got more guy friends than girlfriends. Have you ever heard that? Women just don't trust each other. Well, we've all been there, and it hurts. And I have been on more than one occasion, and it's okay, but you just can't live there. And there are some tools and strategies to get beyond this, if you're experiencing that, and some ways to engage with other women so that you can set yourself up so things like that never happen again to you. So jaded, that's the second level. The third level is called the friendlies, and I made this one up. This is a friendship of convenience. You may have friendships from your middle school kids days when you were running around together with other parents to their sports and to all their activities and all that. And you spent a lot of time with these people and you kind of thought you were going deeper, but when the convenience ended, when the kids went their different ways, so those friendships kind of dissolved as well. That can happen at work and all that too. And sometimes it kind of feels like not very good. I was kind of hurt when that happened to me and my middle school mom friends. I thought, I really liked these ladies, right? And I thought we had something, but it's not like they were mean girls or anything. It's just not what the friendship was. And we were at stages in our life where it was a friendship of convenience. And those are the friendlies. The next level is the socials. And the socials are out there posting all their positive stuff, their positive inspirational messages, and all their holidays and vacation pictures are going up and showing all the awesomeness of their life. And they love getting out there and helping, and they want to be of service to others, but they're never going to ask for help. They don't want everybody else to know what's going on and the realness of their life, right? They're just trying to keep up with the Joneses. And sometimes they feel like an imposter because they're only sharing good stuff, but there really is a lot of other stuff going on here. Does anyone ever felt like a social? Yeah, just showing all the good stuff. Well, it's okay. Well, I think we can all have a lot of social in our life because not everybody makes, has earned the right for us to go beyond that. But for those who have is the final level, and this is the one we're going to all aspire to for our tribe, and that is called the confidant. The confidant is willing to share any and all flaws, brags, all the awesomeness that they're going on in their life. They're going to say, I love you, and mean it because they feel so solid in their connections, and that they really feel seen and known, and they're able to do wild and crazy things and be brave because they know where they fit in, and they know they have a tribe of support to not only cheer them on and encourage them, but also they have that soft place to fall. And this is a level of deep, authentic connection that we should all strive to have with a handful of people. This is reserved for our family and 2 to 6 or so besties in your life that have earned the right to have this kind of level of communication. All right. So again, that equation for tribe is friendship, time, attention, and enthusiasm, plus space, plus proximity. So, as I did my research again, I just found that building deep friendship starts with an intention and ends with action. But we must be intentional about connecting to others because it's just not going to happen organically. It's just not. So how do we connect, right? How do we do it? And I have a lot more to share on this subject, a lot. And I love it. And I'm going to leave you with that last tip before we end today, but maybe you're looking for more. Maybe you can relate to my story at the beginning of kind of losing myself and you might want some help trying to get out of that, what I call my funk years. Maybe your kids are growing into their next chapter, or they're about to, and you're out there grasping onto every moment that you can have and every memory making. Maybe you've been a key player in everybody else's life for so long, but you neglected your own stuff. Maybe your relationships with other women have been diminished over the years, and you're just not sure. You need to find some new friends, or you really need to spend some time on nurturing others. And socially, you kind of just really long for that tribe of support. Well, here's great news: is you don't have to do it all on your own. There are awesome little communities to help you do that, and I do have one of them. So I want to take this moment just to kind of share with you real quick here. I opened up a few spots in my calendar to just kind of visit with me so I can learn a little bit about you, just individually where you're at, and provide you with a little mini plan to kind of get you on your way to reconnecting in whatever way that you feel would most impactful for you. So take a deep breath and stretch just a little bit here, because we've gone through a lot, and it's been a kind of a turbo here at the end. But with that research that I did for my book, what I discovered is that women, when they commit to getting support on these life transitions from their roles, and they begin to find themselves again, a few things happen, and it's powerful. First, they stop panicking about, what's next and the things that they're losing, because can be a great sense of loss there, and we can get caught up in just kind of a grieving period. But then they begin to look forward with eagerness and excitement. And then they start feeling more empowered to invest in their own interests and activities and friendships and self-care. And through this structured step-by-step process, they begin to feel whole again. And everyone in their life benefits, especially really the family. So, when you get your sense of purpose all fired up again, first of all, it gives you a sense of security and knowing and remembering really who you are here to be. And you have the opportunity to be an influencer and really make a difference for others. Let's face it, we women are givers, right? To a fault sometimes. How great will it feel to truly have it all together and help others from that vantage point? It doesn't matter if it's your family, friends, your community, whatever, you'll be helping from a position of strength. And just imagine the impact you can make and the difference you can make. So I love to work with women who are ready to take the time and put some effort into taking some specific action steps, and then get their first result, and then their 5th result, and then their 10th result. And this is where you can really start dreaming again. Create that exciting life that has you jumping out of bed in the morning again. Can you just feel the reverence of what it means to be firing on all cylinders again, fully engaged, driven by a purpose and making a difference in ways you probably haven't even imagined yet? So for those of you who are curious, again, I want to invite you to schedule a complimentary breakthrough session with me, where we'll just spend about a half hour. Again, I'm going to listen to you, gather some information, and put you on an action plan to get you started in this journey. And most of all, I just want you all to know and trust that what you have left to bring into this world is so worth committing to and recommitting to you. They say that the Western woman is going to change the world and save the world, and that is us. Who better than us women who have so much experience and compassion and love, and we're willing to give so much. We are going to change the world, but let's do it from a position of strength. So don't let the fear be greater than your belief in yourself. I'm just going to say you're born for this. You were not born to just exist. You were born to make a difference and make an impact. It's not a dress rehearsal. 5 years from now, we don't want to be sitting right here in the same place. We want to be progressing. You were born to be visible and make a difference. So please take me up on that offer for that free. Let's connect just for a few minutes, and let me give you a little starting point. So to wrap this all up, I think I'm even over a little bit. So my apologies on that. I want to just wrap this up real fast here, get us on our way. I'm so grateful for you being here today. Christy, I don't know if you had the opportunity, but would you go ahead and put my link to my calendar in the chat so people can just click on it to book a spot that works for them? So in your notes, just to wrap up, I want you to write down a few names. Who's already a member of my tribe? These are people that you're already communicating on the confidant level. They know the greatness in your life, and they also know the muck and the hard stuff and the failures. Who are they? And if you don't have anyone to put on this list, you're not alone. And that's one of the things we can work on together. The second question, who do I already know that I might want to build with? These, maybe it's a friend of a friend that you know of that you like. I like her energy. I'd like to get to know her better. Just jot her name down. Maybe it's someone you see at King Soopers all the time in passing, and you go, wow, the universe is bringing you by each other on a regular basis for a reason. Maybe you need to get just one moment of braveness and ask her out to coffee and get to know her. So maybe just write down blonde lady in King Soopers that I see all the time. Who do I already know that I want to build a little deeper with? Third, where can I go to meet new people to build with? And when you do that, just kind of what interests can I explore? If you're exploring an interest, you show up somewhere, and if it's an art class, well, you're meeting people that like art. So you have something to talk about already, and it's very easy to start up a conversation. What other groups can I tap into? A meetup group, church, the rec center, whatever. Where can I tap into it? And I promised you I would leave you with a tip. And this is my best friend making tip. And so, we are also worried when we go into new situations, and like I said, I'm an introvert. I don't like going into new situations myself very much, but when you go into a new situation with the intention of kind of connecting and meeting someone, go in with the intention of not being interesting, but being interested. So what you want to do is say hello to someone and ask them a question about them, and then just sit back and listen. And maybe just follow up with some more thought-provoking questions to ask them, because people love to share about themselves. And that is truly a fast track to friendship. And you don't have to worry about being interesting and having people like you, because they automatically are going to like you if you listen to them, because there's just not enough good listeners out there. So my tip is don't be interesting, be interested. So with that, I apologize for keeping you over just a bit. I would really, again, love to connect with each and every one of you one-on-one. And I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm trying to go to the next one here. Let's stay connected. I have an inner circle. If you go to my link tree, I can let you know about events that I have coming up and opportunities to connect. And I like to send out a friendship tip every couple of weeks. You might hear from me once a month, or no more than once a week ever, but just on things that are coming up. So join our inner circle. And I've got the Find Your Lady Tribe podcast. You can find it on all your podcast services and also on YouTube. And I just always like to wrap up by saying, when 3 or more gather, we are tribe. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to stay on, and if you want to visit at all, I'm here, but I just wanted to wrap it up because I did keep you a couple of minutes over. I'm so grateful you're here today. So have a wonderful rest of your day.